How are we, people? Welcome back to the show. Welcome to what has been an unbelievable weekend of football. Chaos, absolute chaos and mayhem. Yesterday, there was some mad games, some mad results, and a lot of goals. And today, it's been goals galore. It's been a beautiful, beautiful day of football to watch. But to be fair, some of the drama has turned to complete and utter gut-wrenching heartbreak, particularly if you're a Coventry City fan. What an unbelievable game of football. Who said the FA Cup was dead? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what this means for the title race now that Arsenal and Liverpool have put as much pressure as they can on Manchester City, and what this means going into only a few days until we all kick off again. Midweek football is back, ladies and gentlemen. Tuesday, Wednesday, and I believe Thursday, all have got games for us. So we'll be looking forward to what has now been is now going to be classed as an unbelievable few weeks to end the Premier League season. It wasn't just Premier League today, it was FA Cup, which we're going to touch on. And we are going to talk a lot on David Moyes and West Ham, because that right there, Dan Lawless, is a disaster for you, my friend. Absolutely horrendous when it comes to West Ham Football Club, getting absolutely pummeled by Crystal Palace. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk a little bit about Liverpool, obviously beating Fulham, which, to be fair, I was disappointed is probably wrong with Fulham, because Fulham are on the beach. But we'll go into why I had a little bit of a gut feeling that Fulham might have taken something out of Liverpool. Aston Villa put the pressure on Spurs. They're looking like they're favourites at the moment with points on the board. Injury worries for Spurs as well, which we'll go into. So Aston Villa, of course, with a win this weekend. What an unbelievable job Unai Emery is doing, by the way. Wow, I don't think that's spoken about enough, in my opinion. Absolutely superb what he's doing at Aston Villa. Things at the bottom are looking pretty grim if you're a Luton Town fan and a Nottingham Forest fan. Everton today with a win, which we're going to touch on, and an absolute madness from Nottingham Forest behind the scenes, who are now putting out tweets accusing referees of being Luton Town fans and VAR being corrupt because they support Luton. It really is an absolute mess, and something needs to be done about it. It is chaos. However, VAR yet again getting involved in the FA Cup, causing complete and utter controversy. Was that offside? Was it not? Absolute millimeters either or, as far as I'm concerned, and really, really, really pathetic way to cancel out what would have been one of the historic moments in FA Cup history. It would have been an absolutely phenomenal ending if you are a Coventry City fan, but luckily enough for Manchester United, it didn't count and it went to penalties. Let's talk about that game first. There were so many football games on today, and they really didn't stagger them very well. It would have been really nice to see a really early game, and then maybe one sort of late lunch, and then maybe late afternoon, then evening. I would have more than happily, watched all of those games if I could, and they would have gone right the way up from, say, 11 a.m. right the way through to 11 p.m. because there was enough quality on show today and enough drama to show that everybody in football should be willing to sit down with their favourite meal, with their favourite snack, with their favourite drink, and just chill out on a Sunday and watch football. It's been fantastic. But, of course, TVs, they put them all on. European football this weekend happening, so most teams that played in Europe had to play on Sunday if you were on a Thursday night, which means that they were on top of the FA Cup fixtures and they were all playing at the same times of each other. So it was quite hard to actually look at what game you wanted to pick. But what I will say is this: the minute that I knew Manchester United were winning, I just turned it off. It was 2-0 when I last watched the Manchester United game, and I looked at the score on my phone, and when it went 3-0, I thought, let's just carry on watching these games. I watched a little bit of Palace and West Ham. I watched a little Villa. Then I flicked it over to Fulham and Liverpool, got my phone back out, and it was 3-2. And I thought, oh, wow, surely the comeback's not on. And that was where I turned it over. I turned it over to Coventry City, absolutely pummeling Manchester United, a championship side who was struggling to get into the playoffs and are pushing for that playoffs, and a manager in Mark Robbins who knows Man United very well. And I tell you what, it was phenomenal to watch. The last couple of minutes. Now, that might be a little bit of a harsh handball, I can't lie. I don't know where Wan-Bissaka is supposed to put his hand, but do you know what? As an Arsenal fan, Man United fans won't like to hear it, but I couldn't care less. The way they crumbled was a shambles. And I honestly believe this is the last of Ten Hag. There is no way that Jason Wilcox, Dan Ashworth, and Ratcliffe can get together and believe that Eric Ten Hag is the right man for Manchester United. Taking away injuries aside, you need to be able to get a team playing, whether it's a reserve side, an under-23 side, a mix of both, a rotated side, or your first 11. I don't think Manchester United at any point under Ten Hag have looked a phenomenal football side. And it's been almost 2 years now where you're looking at a Manchester United side that looks on its knees. It looks gutted. It needs everything starting again with it. And I'm here for it. I want Ten Hag to stay. I'd be really, really happy if he stayed at Manchester United for next season. If Ten Hag and the structure and new board at Manchester United announced that he's the man to take them forward, oh, trust me, a lot of football fans would be happy because Ten Hag has done a lot of bad things at Manchester United in terms of his tactics. But one thing he's got wrong is some of the player sales and some of the player signings. Oh my goodness, they look a shambles. Look at the money they've spent on these players. It is nothing short of a disgrace. I look at what I'm seeing in front of my eyes and I think, wow, 3 or 4 players at Manchester United that you might be able to say, yeah, I can see them there next season. The others, I think you may as well just say goodbye to. Diogo Dalot was probably the only one who could have said that he played well and has been all right this season. Kobe Mainu, surprised that he got subbed when I heard that. He's been one that can hold his head high. I think Højlund, to be fair to him, can hold his head high. I know it's a lot of money for 73 million, but it's going to be for a young player. But actually, he looks like a good signing. But other than that, maybe Garnacho, but I'm struggling after that. I mean, Casemiro and Varane, they haven't brought any mentality from Real Madrid. Lisandro Martinez got hyped up, but he's been injured for the majority of the season. They haven't had a left back for God knows how long. Harry Maguire, when he's one of your better centre halves, you've got problems. 50 million for Onana, and for me, yeah, he's got a bit better, but he hasn't looked phenomenal. And Bruno Fernandes and Rashford are 2 of the first people I'll be getting rid of. They honestly need to start again, Manchester United. Real talk. I grew up watching this football club, hating on them every single season. Why? Because they were phenomenal, mate. They showed everybody what it was like to be an elite football club and win. And throughout the 90s, I hated Sir Alex Ferguson and Manchester United sides because they were so good. Now, laughing stock. Arsenal can go down there and have the banter years as well. For sure we can, right? And I'm not saying look at how fantastic Arsenal are and look at how washed Man United are. But what I am saying is look at how washed Man United are. Like, as the banner aside, whoever you support, whether you're a Wigan Athletic fan, whether you support Portsmouth, whether you support Real Madrid, everybody's looking at Man United going, where did it all go wrong? They have got so much wrong, in my opinion. And since Sir Alex Ferguson's left, it's basically as if Manchester United has died because nothing has gone well for them. They've picked up a few cups, but let's be real, nothing's been phenomenal from a Manchester United point of view. The new stadium is needed. New facilities are needed. New structure is needed. New manager is needed. New coaching staff is needed. And new playing staff is needed. Is there anything else that I've missed? Maybe they need new tea ladies because everything else is changing. Manchester United needs to be gutted and started again. And that really epitomised the mentality in that performance today. Coventry, commiserations, man. I feel so sorry for them because they thought they got their moment. They thought they got their moment. They managed to get themselves back into the game. Yes, the penalty was harsh. I've mentioned that already. I don't think it is a penalty because Van Bissaka, if it hits his other hand, the one that's out like that, fair play. The one that he's jumping with, I think it's quite harsh. But you've seen them given. Brilliant penalty. Coventry, in my opinion, the better side in extra time. And I think Roy Keane said it right. This was a side that was in the Championship that made Manchester United look like a Championship side. And Coventry were the ones who looked like the Premier League side. And I thought that was spot on. I look at the performances of Rashford, came off injured, just walked off, poor mentally. Then Bruno Fernandes, screaming in the penalty shootout, trying to give it to their goalkeeper, calling him crap. How about your crap, mate? Yeah, because you've got the worst mentality I've ever seen in my life. How the hell is he a captain at Man United? I mean, that sums it up, doesn't it? He's their captain. That's the problem you got there. And people are trying to tell me Bruno's like a Kevin De Bruyne or as good as Erdegaard. Do me a favour. Keep him. We'll keep Erdegaard. City will keep De Bruyne and Foden, and you keep hold of him, mate. That's how I think for Man United fans. Honestly, the guy is an absolute disgrace. Can't stand him. So Manchester United go through. I felt sorry for Coventry on penalties. I really did. But that moment, that offside is literally a gnat's whisker. It's crazy to think. It's actually beyond crazy to think that we are in a situation where VAR would get involved with that for clear and obvious offsides, penalties, handballs, and getting involved and change what could have been an unbelievable comeback and one of the best endings in history. I don't know that it's offside or that it isn't. I can't make my mind up. It looks ridiculously close. And when they bring this new technology in for next season, we'll see how much better it is. Because this drawing lines thing is an absolute joke. I'd rather them have brought this technology in when actually to use the technology is brought in. Not Let's just do it ourselves for this season. Oh, yeah, we're getting it wrong, but we'll just continue to get it wrong until we get this new technology in. Rubbish. They should have brought it all in at once so they don't have to worry about this nonsense. It needs to be more black and white, like goal line technology. Does it buzz or does it not? Does it go over the line or does it not? Because these grey rules, I never wanted VAR. That was why. I'm for technology, but I'm for goal line technology. I'm not for this offside stuff. I'm not for this, was this a hand? These laws need to be clearer. Yes. Honestly, man, I'm sick of it. And we've seen again today in the Everton and Forest game, which we'll come on to in a minute, Vershi. So Manchester United go into a Man City Man United final yet again. Same final as last year. Did the FA want a Manchester final? Question mark. Do you believe that VAR was corrupt there? Question mark. All I know is Manchester United have finished and dusted, and they need to start again. They honestly do. Like I'm saying, player staff, 85 to 90% of them need to be sold. There's nobody in that side that I look at and go, phenomenal player. Maybe Kobe Mainu. Think he's got the potential to be, but that's it. All the others, just bit parts. So Manchester United, shambles. All of their fans couldn't even celebrate it. Embarrassed. Even the players. I mean, Højlund starts celebrating with the crowd, turns behind him, everyone's gone. I mean, it was actually really funny, to be fair, because they're all too embarrassed to celebrate the players. I mean, I reckon they'll go in that dressing room, they'll just look at each other and go, what the hell are we? What was that? We got to the final. We should be jubilation now. We should be a comfortable 3-0 winners here, and we've ballsed it up. Ten Hag's got to go. That to me has put the nail in the coffin for him as a Manchester United manager moving forward. I honestly can't see how these three people that have come in will look at him and go, he's the one we want to start with. Manchester United have got two options. They go and do what Liverpool are going to do or what Arsenal have done under Arteta and look to do a project like Klopp or a project like Arteta, or they go and get hold of a Simeone or an Ancelotti or a Hansi Flick and say, let's go and do something now with 300, 400 million, which they've spent in the last 3 years anyway. So they've clearly got money, Man United, right? Man United are the richest club, one of the richest clubs in the world. They've got massive amounts of money. So for me, they've got two options. They either go with a De Zerbi or Arne Slot or Amorim type manager, or they go and get Hansi Flick, or they go and get Simeone Inzaghi or somebody like that and say, do you know what? I ain't going to win you the league this season, but give me 4 windows and I'll put you up there with Man City. That's the route I think they should go down. Because all this building young players and building a side for 5-6 years, as I've seen at Arsenal, it will get you challenging. But Man United don't want to challenge. They want to go win, just like Arsenal do. So they've got an option there now. That's Man United Coventry. Where should we move next? Let's move to West Ham, because they got absolutely pummeled. I've been a big believer that David Moyes has been the West Ham Premier League best manager in the Premier League history or Premier League years. I was so disappointed when I looked at the last few weeks at West Ham, at how poor they've been. Now, I'm not disappointed from an Arsenal perspective because I think it's brilliant. But if I'm a West Ham fan, I'm disappointed. Because let's be real, West Ham haven't really had amazing amounts of injuries. They've got Kudus, they've got Paqueta, they've got Bowen, they've got Alvarez, they've got James Ward-Prowse, they've got their best 11. Basically, they've got Areola and maybe a Guerd out. That's it. Everybody else is back for them. And they're getting pummeled. They're losing games of football. They lost comfortably against Bayern Leverkusen across 2 legs, in my opinion. And then obviously, when you look at what they did today against the Palace side that, let's be real, have been down on its knees for the last few months. They brought in Glasner now. He's taken some time and the football's got a little bit better. Eze and Elise coming back for Palace has definitely helped. But I never had them pummeling West Ham by 5 goals. Absolutely crazy. So, Lawless, hold that, my friend. This is going to be a very uncomfortable week for you. I had a very uncomfortable week. And now it's your turn, my friend. So make sure you tune in at 8 p.m. because he's going to be getting it. And then make sure you come back on the Wednesday because Dee and Lawless will be together and they'll be cooking each other even more. So make sure you're here for that, people. Do not miss it. It will be clipped. Sam will be clipping tonight for tomorrow. Lawless is going to get it. He's in the mud Monday. He's in the mud Wednesday. And he knows it as well. Very quiet on the WhatsApp groups. Maybe his 5G's down. Or maybe he's just sitting at home with his head in his hands. Who knows? Yeah, that's West Ham. I think, if I'm brutally honest now with my footballing head on, thank you very much, David Moyes. You've given us some unbelievable memories. But, man, West Ham need to go in a different direction now. And that's a massive risk. The grass might not be greener. If they get one of the likes of I've forgotten his name now. The Lille manager is the favourite. Someone in the chat let me know. Who's the Lille manager's name? What is his bloody name? I've forgotten his name now. He's done really well with Lille, but he's the favourite for the West Ham job. Apparently Lopetegui as well is another guy that West Ham are looking at. Would you believe that is the right move for West Ham? It's a massive, massive risk, but if it brings them a different direction, perhaps that's what's needed. That's all I'll say. Um, Fonseca, there we go. Fonseca, there we go. That's the guy. Well done, Jake. Well done, guys in the chat. Well done, King Hoddle as well. So yeah, Fonseca's the one that they're looking at, but I don't know much about him. He's done a good job at Lille. But I think West Ham and Moyes are going to be parting ways at the end of the season because his contract's up. So watch this space, man. Let's talk about Unai Emery quickly. For me, the best manager after Pep and Klopp. European heritage, wins in Europe, winning the Conference League, in my opinion, with Villa, getting Villa into the Champions League. It would probably be alongside whoever wins the league, the manager of the year for me. Phenomenal achievement. Took them up when they were 16th, 17th under Steven Gerrard, Aston Villa. They were down and out. Now, what I will say is that they never had a squad that should have been down in 16th or 17th, but their confidence was. And he's took them up, 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 and up. And I look at the last 18 months, and he's right up there with all the stats. If you look at the league table, Aston Villa in the last 18 to 2 years would be third place. That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. I'm sorry, absolutely wonderful from what he's done. And he got a lot of stick at Arsenal. And I always thought he was an all right manager. I did want him to go at Arsenal because I felt like he deserved it. I don't think the players were playing for him anymore. I feel like they're down tools for him. And it was either get rid of 15 players or get rid of the manager and try and go a different direction. The problem with Unai Emery at Arsenal was the structure was completely different. We had Ralph Sanlehi and Hus Fahmy. We had Sven Mislintat. We had Kieran Trapscan, who was obviously in bed with most of these bloody football agents. And it was just a mess. And until we've cleared that out, and we've got Edu in and the Cronkies look to go a different direction, that's why I believe Mikel Arteta has had more of an opportunity to have some time and some backing. Unai Emery wasn't backed in the transfer windows, and he wasn't really backed with his kind of place as an Arsenal manager. So I never ever thought he was a bad manager, and trust me, he's proven why he's not. He's been phenomenal for Villa. You know, Billy's saying he doesn't want anyone but Unai Emery. So fair play to him, man. Fair play to him. So that one's interesting. Very, very interesting. Watch this space. Spurs, pressure's on them now to get Champions League football because it looks like fifth place won't guarantee you Champions League football. That's for sure. And with Tottenham, I think what Tottenham have got to look at now is how can they keep their players fit and how can they get across the line? Now, Destiny Udogie is out for the rest of the season. That's a massive blow. He's been one of their best players. Yes, he's a little rash and a little bit raw, but you know what? I think he's been one of the best left backs this season in the Premier League. He's been up there for me. So I think that's a massive blow for Spurs, and I think they'll probably have to play Ben Davies there now, which is poor, or maybe shift Emerson Royale or somebody over there. So that's going to be a real, real big blow for them, for sure. But I'm here for it. Let's be real. I must say as well that I think with Spurs, they need to try and get James Maddison back in the game, don't they? Because he's kind of disappeared a little bit. Their midfield has gone from being brilliant to pretty much non-existent. Don't know what's happened to Bissouma. I'm not sure what's happened to Bentancur. Sarr's been quiet. Maddison, not really kind of mustard like he was previously. So I think that, along with their transition to their attack, is gonna. I think it's a worry if I'm a Spurs fan. It's not a worry for us, but it's a worry if I'm a Spurs fan. So let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens. Make sure you do me a favor, people. We've only got 44 likes in here. Make sure we hit the likes, please, and subscribe. Those two things are free. I need to get more subscriptions because there's not enough subscribers on here. I looked at my analytics and less than half of you actually subscribe. So please make sure that you click the subscribe button here because it does mean a lot. So hit the like and subscribe, and then we can get things rocking. That's Tottenham and that's Villa. Let's go towards the title race today before we end. Actually, do you know what? Let's end on the title race. Let's talk about Everton and Nottingham Forest today because I've got to say, guys, Everton and Nottingham, very, very poor quality as far as Nottingham Forest are concerned. Brilliant save from Pickford, but other than that, very, very little created from Forest. A couple of mad incidents in the game. One with Nico Williams had gone flying over the billboard and injured himself. And then, of course, a really, really bad injury, nasty injury for Beto, who had to be stretchered off of oxygen. So, yeah, they were quite bad. But the actual penalty incidents, yeah, a couple of them I think are penalties, and I think Forest will feel hard done by. But I have to say, the way they've dealt with this is an absolute sham. Like, it's actually disgusting as far as I'm concerned. The way they've done it, It's like, I think Gary Neville described it as, "What do you think you are, gangsters?" The way this owner, is clearly the owner, by the way. This Nottingham Forest owner is a madman. I'm sorry, he's a madman. We've already seen this guy come running on the pitch. What does he think this is? Does he think this is sang out of Sopranos? Like, what is this geezer on about, man? Honestly, he's absolute nut job. And he's come out today and he's clearly made a statement. There's no way their social media team gets away with putting this out without clearing it with the ownership. Like Gary Neville was said, Mark Clattenburg, who's now part of the Forest, he has to basically say, "I'm off tonight." He has to resign now. If he stays, he's basically saying, "Yeah, my ownership is right. All of you lot are corrupt." They're basically saying that they are Luton fans. They're not giving them, like, listen, there has been some shocking decisions from VAR. We've seen some already today, right? And in that game, I think Forest have actually had a few where they've been a bit screwed from, right? But let's be real. Let's be real. Wolves have probably had worse. And they're not coming out saying, wait to see what happens. We'll consider our options. We will consider our options. What does that mean? That is like a massive potential threat. I cannot understand for the life of me what's happening. It makes no sense. And Nottingham Forest have got to just hold that L and move on and actually try and win football matches in the right manner instead of relying on VARs. Because you can never rely on a VAR. If you're relying on a referee's decision or a VAR, you ain't played well enough to win the game. That's the way it is. I said that when we went to Newcastle and we had the ball over the line incident and the foul on Gabriel and was it an offside, all that stuff, right? For me, if you're relying on that to not lose a game or to win a game, you ain't done enough in the 90 minutes. And that's just facts for me. Yeah, this Forest owner, man, shame on him, man, and shame on Forest for allowing that to go out because they're a classy club. They've got unbelievable heritage, great football club, brilliant stadium, great atmosphere, superb fan base, great history, massive club. But don't be doing stuff like that. Really is ridiculous, man. Absolutely crazy as far as I'm concerned. Do me a favour, people, smash a like before we end to talk about this title race, which, of course, again, is kind of hotting up. I know that a lot of people think it's done, and I must say that I do think Manchester City are going to win the league. But the pressure's on Manchester City now. Liverpool and Arsenal have done their job this week. If you haven't checked out my fan cam from yesterday, make sure you go do that in the previous video, talking about our win against Wolves, which, to be fair, was a little bit meh and a little bit dull. But you know what? I couldn't give two hoots. We've managed to win the game. We've got through. We've done the business, and now we can move on to Tuesday night. It's going to be a fantastic midweek game if Arsenal can put the pressure on Man City, because that means we'll go 4 points clear at the top, and then Manchester City will have to play chase up. Now, last season, Manchester City were very good at chase up, weren't they? Please don't remind me. But I will say that it's a real tight one this season, but I do fancy Man City still, I have to say. But I'm praying with all my might they'll drop points. As for Liverpool, fair play. Fair play, man. Fair play. I thought Fulham could have taken something today. I think it's a very hard place to come, as we found out. We went to Craven Cottage and lost. Spurs got pummeled there. Fulham are on the beach, aren't they? Let's be real. They've done their job. They ain't going down. They ain't going up. They ain't doing anything in terms of European qualification. So along with Bournemouth, as we saw today, that Villa beat, I think those two clubs can say, do you know what? Pressure's off. We don't have to be going all out fighting for this, where the other clubs do. So Liverpool were the ones fighting. Fulham, they got beaten. I didn't see the game. I saw the free kick from Trent. What a player he is, by the way. And people give him stick. Oh, he can't defend. Who cares? Look at what he's doing, like going forward. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And this is what I say about Zinchenko. If Zinchenko did what Trent did going forward, I wouldn't care. But he doesn't. Yeah. Trent is generational for me. World class, I think. Unbelievable. Anyway, Liverpool win their game. Pressure is on Manchester City. Midweek games are mad. Liverpool got the Merseyside derby. A lot of people are saying Everton are going to turn up for that. Yes, they'll turn up for it because they want to do anything they can to prevent Liverpool from winning the league. But Liverpool beat them because Everton aren't good enough. I'm sorry. They got a couple of goals today, but they should just basically long shots from outside the box. That doesn't happen every week. In fact, Gallagher, who did score, has had 100 shots this season and scored twice from it. Sorry, 100 shots in an Everton shirt from outside the box and scored 2 goals. That proves how little and often it happens. Same with Dwight McNeil. He doesn't go and score every other goal, so every other game. So I think that'll be a struggle for Everton, but I'm praying that they can do something. So watch this space for the Merseyside derby. Arsenal got the London derby against Chelsea at home. Now, Chelsea, I'm hoping to be a little bit knackered from that FA Cup semi-final yesterday. I felt Manchester City didn't rob them. That was a stupid term. They didn't rob them. Chelsea missed their chances, in my opinion. Chelsea fluffed their lines. Madueke, Nicholas Jackson, Pochettino's tactics were being questioned again, but let's be real. If you're going to have strikers like that are going to miss chances, it doesn't matter how good or bad your tactics are, you ain't going to score. This Nicholas Jackson, brother, I'm used to Drogba's and Zola's up top and Diego Costa's, not this guy. This guy is not good enough. And I told Don this. So we'll see where Chelsea go in the summer. But as for the midweek game, got to watch for Cole Palmer. Very good player. Got to make sure we win that midfield battle against Caicedo and Enzo and Gallagher. But we can get him behind Chelsea and definitely give him a good game. So we'll go into more in detail in that tomorrow night and in the build up to that. Lee Judges TV and Lee Judges and I at 9 o'clock tonight, we're going to be talking a little bit more about that. So make sure you head over there after this to Lee Judges TV. Listen, it's going to be a really, really interesting game, but one that I just want to see us win because we are so close to this Premier League title. We just got to win these 5 games and then see what happens to Manchester City. And if we mess up games, it's done. It really is if we drop points now. So I can't be dealing with that. Where else are we? Brighton. There's a super chat coming about this, actually. Here we go. CMO Sports. Make sure you go subscribe, people. I'm going to be a Brighton fan on Thursday, Dan, mate. 100%, bro. Absolutely. Make sure you go follow CMO Sports. Listen, all we can do is our job, bro. All we can do is our job. We're going to have to rely a little bit on hope. We're going to have to hope that somebody can take points off of City, whether it is Fulham, whether it is Brighton, whether it is Forest. We've got to see a team take at least a draw off of Manchester City to give us a little bit of hope. But then we've got to be near perfect towards, well, we have got to be perfect at the end of this season, in my opinion. So it's going to be tight. It's going to be difficult. So yeah, Liverpool got Everton, Man City got Brighton, Arsenal got Chelsea midweek. Make sure you stay tuned on Football's 12th Man. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you are liking because you are going to have the opportunity to see all of the content this week, which is going to be phenomenal. Dan Lawless is going to end up getting cooked. Dan United's going to be spoken to tomorrow night at 8 p.m. about what is happening at Manchester United. We're going to talk to LB about how he feels about the title race. We're going to talk to Errol likewise for Liverpool to talk to him how he believes this title race is going. A lot of Liverpool fans thought they'd lose today. I spoke to a lot of Liverpool fans who thought that perhaps there was going to be a situation where they drop more points. I spoke to, I think it was Drifty on Saeed's channel, who said, I don't really believe it's going to be good enough for us to be going and winning many more games. He said he doesn't see them winning many more games. Crazy. Absolutely mad. For me, Liverpool have always got a chance. They've got a great manager. They've got a great team. And they proved that again today. But this is so tight. And this is what it does to you. You lose one game and it's like, we're done. And I said that after Aston Villa. Yeah, I think we're done now. So it's going to be really, really difficult. Jake's got a question. Big up yourself, Jake. Says, given the fact that Arsenal are going for the league and Tottenham are still going for the Champions League, when's the last time a North London derby was as big as this? Well, I think the North London derby was probably bigger the year that we went for the top 4 races because I never saw that as massive because I don't really celebrate top 4, but Tottenham do. Tottenham know when they get top 4, that's like a trophy for them. So finishing above us is always good for them. So I think they're the ones that will probably look at and go, yeah, that's the time that it was big. We did have a time where we flirted, both of us, with a title against Leicester, but really Leicester won the league quite comfortably. I think it was about 11 points ahead of us both. They finished in the end, and we ended up coming second anyway. We need 40 more likes, according to my mum, so please make sure that you hit the like button, people. There's nearly 200 of you in here, so we should nearly have 200 likes. Where are we? We're only at 6. Come on, man. That's terrible. We're not even at 100. Just hit the like button and hit subscribe. It's absolutely free. It will not cost you a penny, and it does so much for us. So please come out of the chat, press cross, like, subscribe, come back in the chat. It takes 2 seconds, and it means so much. So thanks so much, man. This is free content. I don't ask you to pay for anything of this unless you, of course, want to join as a member, which you can do. If you want to put in a super chat and donate, you can do. But for me, all I ask is that you hit the like and subscribe because that does not cost you a penny and it means so much to me. So thank you so much for that. This is going to redirect you over to Lee Judges TV. So please make sure that you stay tuned. We'll see you over there at 9 p.m. It'll be myself, it'll be Lee, it'll be Adrian, and it'll be Kenny Ken talking all things Arsenal as we move towards the fixture of Chelsea at midweek. And then, of course, we'll talk a little bit about what Arteta's doing with his squad rotation at the moment or lack of squad rotation and how it can affect us moving forward. We'll talk a little bit about the Wolves game. Definitely going to touch on Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard, 2 of the players who did turn up yesterday, one with a goal and one with a performance to be proud of that got him player of the match. So we're going to definitely talk about all things there. If you want to do me a favor and smash a like and subscribe, you can also get one of these behind me. Now, if you go to the link in the description, you'll see an email address, which will be russellhogphotography@hotmail.com. Make sure if you want one of these behind me on the wall, one of these canvases, that you drop him an email and he'll sort you one out. Say, oh, Dan Potts has sent me. And I'm a gooner, and he'll sort you out one as well. Bread and Honey Bets is in the description. If you want to click on the Patreon there and look at the Bread and Honey Bets that have been this weekend, check it out. They have done very, very well again and are winning lots of people money. So please make sure if you do like a bet of the weekend, of course, gamble responsibly, but do click on Bread and Honey Bets as well. And of course, if you do want to get yourself the VPN that everybody is talking about at the moment, Surfshark VPN, everybody is talking about it. Everybody has got it, including myself, including my lead judges. Expressions is talking about it as well. Troops is talking about it as well. Make sure you click on the pinned comment, which will take you straight through, if you click on it, to Surfshark VPN, and make sure that you sort yourself out. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. We're out of here. Come on, you Arsenal. Yes, judges.
Hello, Dan. How you doing? You
What are you up to, bro?
I'm actually watching the football, mate. This Surfshark VPN is a lifesaver, mate. You can watch the football with a dodgy Wi-Fi, even at the Emirates when you've got a big crowd there and everything like that, watching the football. Unbelievable.
Easy to set up? Well, it must be if you've done it, mate.
Oh, very, very funny. Even abroad you can, like, you can watch all your favourite programmes. It's like being at home, mate.
And that's exactly what you guys can do too. Click the link in the description for Surfshark VPN.